Hello.
Hi, how are you doing, Michael?
Good. How are you?
Good, great. It's been about a week, I think, since we last talked. And I'm just wondering how things are going for you.
Okay. I think bad still with my mom. Could be better.
Okay, well, most people feel like things could be a little bit better in their lives all the time. Any specific changes or things that have gone on in the last week?
She's getting worse. I just think she's on me all the time.
She's on you all the time, or things are just not great this week?
This week my mom has been on me all the time.
All the time, okay.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, okay. Well, since we last talked, I've been thinking a little bit about different therapy techniques and things that might work with you.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my first questions is, how much involvement do you want with your mom? I know that you've come in part because you want to improve your relationship with your mom, but I know that you are my client, and I want to know how you're feeling, how you want her to be involved in this.
Well, you're right that I'm here because of my relationship with her, but if she was here like all the time, I would feel like she was trying to take charge again, and that's the problem. So I don't want her here that much.
Okay, that's your call. It's your
maybe
therapy.
Sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay, and that would be fine. It would be okay to have her here sometimes to work on some things. It's going to be what you feel most comfortable with, though. Okay. So we'll approach it that way.
Whatever
then.
helps.
Okay. And one of the techniques that I thought might really be appropriate for you is, and of course, if it's something that you don't like or doesn't work, we'll go a different route. But it's something called solution-based therapy.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I like that solution's in the name because I want a solution.
I like that too. I think it's a really positive type of therapy. It focuses a lot on strengths and solutions.
Right.
And it's kind of for people maybe who can't be in therapy for 20 years and kind of want to start to find...
No, I want it dealt with before 20 years from now.
Right.
I don't want to be 42.
Right. It's for people that kind of want to start to find some solutions now. And I thought that sounded like something that you might be interested in. So you might want to give that a try.
Sure. How do I do it?
Well,
how do we do it?
Exactly. How do we do it? One of the first things I like to talk about with clients who are entering into solution-based therapy is that, therapy is about a lot of change in life. But I also think it's important to think about the things we don't want to change in our lives, because there's positive things that are in your life right now.
Sure.
I'm sure. Things with your mom.
I love my apartment.
There you go. And positive things in your relationship with your mom too. And
not as many.
But there are some, I'm sure. And things within yourself. You have strengths and that you I'm sure don't want to change. And I'm sure you have positive things with your mom.
I'm a really good artist.
That's what you've said, and I think that's really great. The creative process sounds like it's been a helpful part of your life. But what I find helpful is to suggest to clients to start coming up with a list of things that they don't want to change, positive things they want to hold on to. And, you don't have to have a complete list, but maybe as a little homework assignment for next time we see each other, you start to tell me a little bit of what's on that list.
Okay.
You think that would be...
How long does it have to be?
Whatever comes into your head, whatever makes sense to you. There's no...
Even if it's one thing?
Even if it's one thing. I imagine there's more than one thing, but even if there is, that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, that sounds great. I was wondering, I think we've talked in the last session or two about how you would describe the main issue or issues or problems in your life. Could you kind of repeat that back to me? Just so we can be focused on what, being on the same page.
Sure.
With what you're thinking of here.
The main problem is that my mom always tries to be in charge of my life, and I'm a grown-up now. I'm 22. Excuse me. I feel like I should have the right to not have her boss me around, not have her always checking up on me, not have her trying to make sure that I took my meds and that that I went to bed at the right time and that I'm not burning the house down. She's always poking her nose in where it doesn't belong, and I'm a grown man and I deserve some independence, and she doesn't let me have that.
Okay. So you're saying that at times your mom really doesn't give you the freedom or the autonomy that you feel you deserve?
Right.
Okay.
That I do deserve.
Of course. You're an adult, you're a grown-up. Are there times when you feel like this is less likely to occur, or when it's less severe, this problem?
You mean these days or ever?
Either thing.
Well, right when I first moved, I felt like my mom was really helpful. I've never been in an apartment of my own before, and she knows about that stuff. So, she helped me pick out my dishes. She helped me, know what kind of stuff I would need for my place, and she helped me move all my stuff. And I felt like things were really good there for the first couple of weeks after I moved. It was the start of a new chapter in our relationship or whatever together. So, yeah. So there have been times, even in the last few months, where things were good between us. Just not right now.
Okay. Do you feel? Has there ever been a time when you felt like you assumed your mom was going to undermine you or treat you like a child, and it didn't happen?
Sure. This one time, a couple weeks ago, I was up late. I had a couple friends over. We were eating pizza and stuff. And, there's a knock on the door, and it's my mom. And I'm in my 20s, and I have my friends over there, and we're hanging out. And, I just flat out assumed she was going to be just humiliating and be like, oh, did you take your night meds or whatever? But instead, I told her before that afternoon that I was going to be having some people over, and she brought over these brownies that she had made, and she was really cool. And everyone was when she left, everyone was like, oh, I wish my mom would make me brownies and stuff. She was really nice, and she was just trying to help out and help me entertain guests, and it was really neat. She was just dropping in to drop off brownies. She wasn't there to give me a hard time at all.
Wow, that sounds really nice. It sounds like you appreciate your mom and how she helps you out sometimes.
Yeah, when she helps me.
Are there times when you don't think your mom helps you?
I don't need her to call me 3 times a day. I don't need her to check on me, in the morning and at night and make sure I took my meds that time. I don't need her, if she doesn't hear from me for a few hours, to come running over across the street just to see, if I fell down and had a heart attack or something. Yeah, I have all my health things going on, but I don't need constant monitoring by her.
Right. Do you feel like this has increased since you moved, or has she always been this way?
she's always been overbearing, but I think it was different when I lived in the house with her before, because then, like, you know, she could just peek in on me or something and it wasn't this big production. I feel like now, since I moved, it's been a huge thing, partly because I moved in so I'm farther away, so it's like a bigger deal where she's got to actually come all the way over there. And partly because, like, I don't know, she's just crazy lately. She's just been a bitch. Like, she just wants to, you know, run my life in a way that I didn't feel like she wanted to before. So maybe it was always there, but less than this.
Okay. Do you feel that most of this concern, if you want to call it, from your mother is based on your health issues, or do you feel like it's just everything?
A lot of it is my health stuff. I've had a lot of surgeries, you know, like she's been with me every step of the way during that stuff, and I don't know, but I feel like, you know, I should be allowed to, like, I should be allowed to grow up and do the stuff for myself. And
of course. But it must have been nice to have a mom that cared so much when you
oh
had
yeah, lots
so
of people
much.
don't have that.
It must have been difficult to go through all that, but then you had your mom there, which made it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah, you're right.
But, you know, you are an adult, and I understand that want and that desire to have independence. That's reasonable. Kind of a unusual question
Okay.
I'd like to ask you, if that's all right.
Yeah, how unusual.
Oh, not that
Okay.
unusual. Just take a minute and humor me. If
Nothing
you will.
about my poop or anything.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Imagine that I have a time machine,
Okay.
and it could propel you into the future. And in that future,
How far in the future?
as far as it takes to make your problems as you see them right now disappear, they would all be resolved, everything would be all right. Talk to me a little bit about how you would be different, how people in your life would be different, what you might be doing, that sort of thing.
You know, I'd be independent. I wouldn't have to be on SSI anymore. I could be like a famous comic book artist, and, like, you know, I'd remember stuff. I'd remember to take my meds, and I'd, you know, remember to take care of stuff that's important, and, you know, I'd be healthy, and my mom and I would be getting along, and we'd, like, be friends, you know, like it used to be, and things would be back to being good. Like, I don't know, like, we could talk instead of yelling at each other, and wouldn't feel like she was always sticking her nose in my business.
Okay. And what kind of ways would you act differently? You mentioned you would remember things. What else?
I could talk to my mom instead of yelling at her.
Okay.
Um,
How would she be different?
she would respect me. For me, she would trust me to remember stuff, and she would, like, not just want to be in charge of all my stuff.
What would she be doing in her life?
Something besides thinking about me all the time. I don't know.
Okay.
She could be a comic book artist.
You could
Why
be
not?
a team then, right?
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, how did that make you feel to, like, think about a future time?
Good. I mean, I don't know how realistic it is. It'd be a long way in the future, but good. Positive things, you know.
Well, I mean, I think that these are all possible things. You're creative. You're a talented guy. Those are strengths of yours.
Yeah.
You obviously care about your mom. You know, you wouldn't be here if you weren't interested in changing and improving your relationship. And you have expressed a great concern in being more independent and responsible for yourself. So these are all possible future items for you, if that's the direction you want to go in.
Right.
Do you feel scared at all to get to that future? Nervous?
A little bit. I mean, I guess it's hard to imagine that. It's easy to, like, imagine it, but it's hard to think about, like, okay, you know, it could really be this way. You know what I mean?
Okay. What makes you nervous about that change, or?
You know, what if I put in all this effort and she doesn't, like, bother to change anything? You know, and she's still just as mean and she still is just as controlling and bossy, and, you know, I've tried so hard and she hasn't done anything. What then? Like,
Right.
it's wasted time.
Well, it's not wasted time, because you will have made positive changes in your own life, and that is the only thing you can control. But often when we make those positive changes, it does ripple out to the world in some way, and it will touch your mom. Maybe she won't change everything, but it will affect your mom in some way, and it will affect other areas of the world.
Okay.
It's something to think about.
Maybe.
Oh, I do apologize for this cough. I would consider,
What would you consider?
excuse me, I think that we should talk about kind of an ultimate desired goal right now. Maybe not all of that future stuff that we just talked about, but right now, what's a real good place you'd like to be in?
What do you mean? Like, what does that mean?
A desired goal for right now. It doesn't have to be, like I said, this future world. But what is your...
For her to stop bugging me so much.
But for you, for yourself, what is your desired goal? Because you've already said that you feel like you can't change.
Okay, I would like to be able to talk to my mom without fighting, without getting mad at her. And I would like to be able to remember to take my meds during the day, and I don't know, remember other little stuff too, I guess.
So kind of a general being a little more responsible for yourself.
I mean, that's the whole point of my moving out, like getting my own place.
Okay.
Like being an adult and doing this stuff for myself and not needing to rely on her all the time.
Do you think that if you relied on her a little less, that she might eventually get more comfortable with the fact that you are an adult?
Maybe.
Okay. Sometimes new things that happen in our lives can be really difficult to comprehend and to accept, and I think we need to understand a little bit that your mom is going through something really new and really big.
Right.
The fact that you moved out, of course. And I think that may be a little bit of an explanation as to why maybe you guys are fighting a little more, because you both have this big transition in your life. But with your goal that you mentioned, it's kind of a two-part goal, I would say. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, meaning the best, you've reached that goal. This week,
the goal of being independent
and getting along a little better with your mom. Where are you at? From a 1 to a 10, 10 being
like
high.
a 5.
You're at a 5 today, okay. Now, we kind of talked about doing a weekly session with each other.
That's
Is that,
fine.
do you feel good about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we meet in a week. What would you feel would be something that would get you up to a 6? What are some small goals or objectives that you can get to meet that goal, that bigger goal? Not a big thing, because big things are often hard. It's better to go a little step this week.
Well, what if I was able to remember to take my pills?
Okay, that's a great goal, a great mini goal. How do you take your pills now?
Well, they're kind of, some are upstairs, like at my bedside table in the bottles, and some are like in the kitchen, and I, get them at meal times, and some are kind of, in my living room.
I'm so sorry.
They're kind of all over the place.
Okay. And
so sometimes I remember to take them, and sometimes, like, my mom calls and says, "Did you take them?" And I say, "Oh, I forgot," and then I'm embarrassed, and then we have, like, a fight and whatever. I don't take them that good. And I should, because of all my surgeries and everything, but...
Okay, so it doesn't, the way your system is now, it's not working for you?
No. And then it ends up with her, telling me all the time, and then that makes me mad because I forgot, and then I'm mad at myself too, so...
Okay. Have you ever tried a different system?
Like what?
Have you ever kept a pill box?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay. They come in different shapes and sizes. For someone like you, who I know takes a lot of medications, I would recommend a big weekly one. It has morning and night. Sometimes it has morning, noon, and night. And depending
I would need that because I take it like 3 times a day.
Okay. And you would fill it up. It has every day of the week.
Okay.
And you would fill it up at the beginning of the week, or whatever day is going to work best for you. It's nice because you only have to do it once a week.
Right.
You take a look at it, and you could tell, oh, hey, I forgot to take my meds this morning. I better take them now. It's a way to keep track of everything a lot more easily. It keeps it all together.
Okay.
Would you be willing to try something like that?
Like, when do I set it up? Like...
You pick the day. I know I set mine up on a Sunday.
You take pills?
I do, yeah. I take pills, and it's really hard to remember them. I get that. And I don't even take as many as I know you do. So, for me, it's a must. I have to have it. So, I would really recommend giving it a shot. It really could work for you.
How long have you been taking medicine?
Probably for 20 years or more.
That's a long time.
It is, so I do
you must
understand.
have heart problems too, like me.
No, I don't have heart problems. So I don't understand that, but I do understand what it's like to have health problems and to take medication.
Okay.
So it would be something you'd be willing to try?
Yeah, I can do that.
Now we do, up at the front desk, we do have some free ones if you'd like that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. We can make sure you get one on the way out. If you end up not liking that one, they offer them at drugstores or Walmart or Target or wherever.
Okay.
Find one that you like if you don't like this one. And just give it a shot and let me know how it goes. Do you feel like this might be a little step to help you feel more responsible?
Yeah, because it would mean that she wouldn't be calling me to check if she knew that I had already used the pillbox thing, and that I was, maybe I could prove to her, it wouldn't happen in a week, but maybe I could prove to her eventually that she wouldn't have to worry about at least the meds.
Right. And would you prove something to yourself, too?
Well, that I could do it. I didn't need her help, and I could take them because I know I need to take them.
Right.
Been a lot of surgeries. I know I need to take them.
Right. Okay, well, this seems like a good first step. And kind of the part 2 of your big goal is getting along with your mom. What small step would you like to take in that direction?
Maybe it would make sense to like go and visit her sometimes at home because like when I first moved out I would come back and like go see her a few times a week and that would make her all excited and she could make me like dinner and then I get dinner
nice.
and then when I was going to see her more she was checking on me less because then she was seeing me anyway. So maybe if I went over there and we could sit down and talk a little bit and she wouldn't be so lonely and we could like maybe communicate better if we were talking more. I don't know.
Okay. I think that's a really nice goal to have.
Thanks.
How is there a frequency that you think would?
What does that mean?
Would you like to do it once in a week?
She's gonna want more than that.
But what do you want? What can you give?
How about 3 times a week to start?
Okay. Does that fit into your schedule and does that
Monday,
feel comfortable
Wednesday,
to
Friday.
you? Okay. Does that feel comfortable to you?
Well, it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday fights for now. But at least we'll be in the same room.
Okay.
And not my rooms. She
Okay.
can't break any of my stuff.
Did she break things?
I don't know. I'm just saying, if she was to get that mad, I can break her stuff. She can't break my stuff.
I'm guessing that breaking things is not a great way to deal with your...
Communicate?
Yes. To let out your aggression. I wouldn't recommend that for either of you.
Yeah, I know.
Are you just kind of poking fun, or are you serious?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, if we get in a big fight, at least I can storm out and go home. And if we're at my house in a fight, there's nowhere I can go. So.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe, though, getting together a little more often would kind of decrease some of that fighting.
I hope so. Because I am sick of fighting with her all the time.
When's the last time you just visited her?
Oh, it's been like a couple months since I went over there. Because I'm so pissed off, that she's being such a bitch.
Okay. Well, I'm sure your mom misses you.
No, she doesn't miss me. She came over like twice today before I came here. She doesn't miss me at all.
But I mean, misses the way you guys used to be.
Yeah.
And you'll never be that way again because you're not living in the house, but you can be something new and something positive that works for both of you.
Right.
Because you can't be everything to her and she can't be everything to you.
No, and she doesn't work, so I guess I am her whole world. But it drives me crazy. Like, I'm 22, I should be able to have my own life.
Exactly, and you can't, like I said, you can't be her everything, but you can be a positive part of her life without being her whole world.
Yeah. You're right. I can. I just wish she would, try and see things from my point of view,
Right.
I don't feel like she cares that I want to be left alone sometimes, so that I want to be more independent sometimes.
Right.
I mean, she's a nice lady, and she's given up so much in her life for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really love my mom, but lately it's just been nothing but arguing.
Based on my meeting with both of you previously, I do see a lot of love there. And I think she does want the best for you, and I think you want the best for her.
Oh, sure.
I just think you're both going through a difficult transition, and I think that you're trying to make steps to make that better. And I think she's willing to take a look at this with you and work on it. And when you're ready, we can invite her again to
Okay.
have some sessions.
Maybe in
but-
a few weeks.
Okay, yeah, whenever you feel comfortable.
I want to let you know how these things are going.
Absolutely. So we have 3 homework assignments that we talked about.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get the pill box and use it once a week to remember my meds. And I'm supposed to go 3 days a week to visit my mom and like hang out. That's it, right?
And there's a third thing.
I was hoping you'd forget.
We talked about it at the beginning, coming up with the start of a list of things that you feel are good in
Don't
your
need to be
life
changed.
and don't
Okay.
don't need
Yeah,
to be changed.
I can do that.
And in your relationship with your mom.
Okay.
Great. And we said weekly sessions
Yep.
for now. So that would be next Monday.
Yep.
Great. It has been around
Like
1 or 2. Is that
Two is good.
2? Okay.
Okay.
That sounds great. It has been a real pleasure. And if you have, do you have any questions right now or
No,
concerns?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, you can call at
Okay.
any time if something comes up, and we will get you that pill box
All right.
up front.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.